Murakami. He's really passionate about running, and he has written a book called What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. How beautifully he has integrated his passion for writing and running. And that makes us reflect that what if work is not only our personality, but a true reflection of who we are. So you always bring that positive energy to the table. What's the secret mantra for this?
I don't know whether it's a secret mantra or not, but broadly three things that work for me.
Like, what does this title of being partner at a leading consulting firm means to you?
Going back to Robin Sharma's theory of leadership without a title. And that's a philosophy that I've always, followed.
Like with the younger generation coming in, they are not very unidirectional in terms of pursuing success.
I'm not sure. Maybe you are more connected.
You have had a very successful career in consulting, but what has really helped you to succeed at the workplace?
My ability to show up every single day. So I was at that stage, and I literally felt like breaking my guitar into two pieces and throwing it away. ख्वाहिशों के बोझ में बशीर तू क्या क्या कर रहा है इतना तो जीना भी नहीं है जितना तू मर रहा है.
So what is one skill you think every consultant should build on early?
Asking the right questions, structuring your thoughts.
If you were not a partner, what would you be?
शाम सवेरे तेरी यादें आती हैं आके दिल को मेरे यूं तड़पाती हैं.
Rumi said, I am not what you are, and you are not what I am. You are you. Recently, I did a podcast with a couple of young professionals, and one of the professionals said something which really hit me hard. He said, work is not my personality. And I really started thinking, work has not only been my personality, but also my identity. One of the greatest Japanese novelists, Haruki Murakami, he's really passionate about running. And he has written a book called What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. See how beautifully he has integrated his passion for writing and running. And that makes us reflect that what if work is not only our personality, but a true reflection of who we are. And today we have a very special guest who has been in consulting for over a decade. He is a senior partner in a leading consulting firm. But more importantly, he has pursued his passion for music. And he composes his own songs, he sings, he plays guitar, and hopefully we get to see some of his performance. Please help me welcome Mr. Himanshu Rattan. So Himanshu, we're very excited to have you finally here.
Thank you so much, Ikshwaku, and thanks for that introduction. In fact, Haruki Murakami, by the way, is also one of my favorite authors, and I think I've read almost every book of his.
Oh, that's great. Which is your favorite one, Himanshu?
I like IQ 84 of his.
Acha.
So he generally writes fiction.
Yeah, generally.
But a couple of his books, which you mentioned, for example, What I Talk About Running When I Talk About Running, is obviously non-fiction. Very, very good. So obviously he's a novelist, but he also has passion for running, which he talks about in his book on running. And I really am amazed by his writing. All of his works are generally transcribed from Japanese to English, but the kind of quality of writing is absolutely another level, and I'm a big fan of his.
No, even I have not read all of his books, but I started with Norwegian Wood, and then I read a couple of his Sputnik Sweetheart. So a couple of books I've read, but his writing is very different. Like it's an interplay of metaphysics, fiction. He'll bring new characters all together. So it's really unique, and I think the Kafka on the Shore is one of his more beautiful works.
Yes.
So. No, that's great. We have a lot of common interests. I know Robin Sharma is your favorite and my favorite as well. So, and that's how we started connecting and learning more about the journey. And Himanshu, I have been always really amazed by the energy you carry. So, like, I have known you for over 6 years maybe. But your energy, be it meetings, public speaking events, or music work you're doing, so you always bring that positive energy to the table. So today we want to decode, like, what's the secret mantra for this?
So I think, I don't know whether it's a secret mantra or not, but broadly three things that work for me, and which are pretty much non-negotiables, if I may say that. One is sleep. I literally do not compromise on sleep. So at least I ensure that I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day.
Yeah.
And if I generally try to wake up early, but then if I'm sleeping late, then I'll make up by waking up late as well. So that's one thing which is non-negotiable for me. I think if I'm well slept, then I'm at my peak productivity, if I can say that, and that really helps me being energetic. So that one is sleep.
So just to stop here,
Sure.
so what is about the sleep? You have a pre-sleep ritual or something specific, or you have okay, I need to go to sleep at this time. So what is your hack around optimizing the sleep for 6 to 7 hours? Do you have something specific around sleep also?
So I don't think so. There's a pre-sleep ritual. While I've tried to kind of ensure that there is no digital play just before I sleep, but then given the industry that I'm working with, there's tremendous amount of pressure at times, and therefore it's very hard to follow a pre-sleep ritual at times. But what I'm saying is, I whenever I sleep, I just try to ensure that I'm getting 7 hours of sleep. 7 to 8 hours every single day. So that's something that I follow, and that helps me quite a bit. Although I do try sleeping around 9:30, 10, and waking up early to ensure that I'm more energetic. But if that does not happen, I sleep late, and I'll make up for. I'll not kind of cut down on sleep, is what I'm basically trying to say.
No, that's really great. Yeah. So I totally appreciate that, and I think that's the secret for high performance in any field.
Yes. So one is sleep. The second is, again, as you mentioned, Robin Sharma is one of my great inspirations, and I learned a lot of techniques about peak productivity from him. One of his frameworks is the twin cycles of performance, peak performance, wherein basically I would obviously work hard in bursts, but I would also take time off.
Yeah.
So if there's a long period, if there's a stretch, which maybe it's like a couple of weeks of hard work, I would then take a time off and either go on a vacation, spend time with family, but because that refuels me, and then I'm able to kind of go for the next performance cycle of mine. So that twin cycle of peak performance is the second ritual that I try to follow. The third is exercise. So I think, again, it's been quite a number of years. I just want to ensure, and here the Apple Watch helps me quite a bit in terms of tracking that I'm doing at least 30 minutes of exercise every single day. So that's something that I try to follow religiously. So these three things, sleeping, not compromising on sleep, dual cycles of peak performance, and third is in terms of my exercise every single day, 30 minutes of it. That's something that keeps me energetic every single day.
So what's your favorite form of exercise?
I typically do HIIT and some bit of running. So Sundays typically, and including today, so I think running is something that I ensure that I'm doing at least once every week. Obviously, I do it multiple times a week. The other is HIIT every single day.
So you go to gym, or you have something at your home where you do the HIIT?
I typically try to go to the gym. But on cold winter mornings when it's very difficult to step out of the house, I do have a small setup at my place as well, where I ensure that I complete my exercise.
No, so that's great. So sleep, exercise, and reset, taking few recovery cycles. So that really helps you to bring a lot of energy back.
Absolutely.
That's really helpful, and that's very important because the kind of profession you belong to is extremely high stress, and it's very difficult to see people who are very high energy and smiling faces.
Yes.
So, and you're one of them. Lucky few.
No, I think that I'll take that as a compliment, but that's what I do. I keep it simple, and I think these three things help me quite a bit.
No, that's really helpful, Himanshu. So now moving on, today we also want to understand, obviously you have become partner at a very leading consulting firm and you're very successful in your career. But we also want to understand, a lot of times people get stuck in the title they hold. What does this title of being partner at a leading consulting firm means to you?
So I think obviously it's a privilege to kind of get to that level within
Yeah.
the organization. Not denying that. But having said that, again, going back to Robin Sharma's theory of leadership without a title,
Yeah.
and that's a philosophy that I've always, followed, whether I was a consultant or a senior manager or a partner. So I typically try to ensure that I'm humbled and grounded and not kind of not getting the partner title into the head. So that's something that I do. Also, I firmly believe, in order for us to be relevant in the industry, you have to be learning every single day. So I always have a beginner's or a learner's mindset. In fact, today's Gen Z, I think they can take you for a ride any single day. So you have to be, you have to up your game every single day. In a client conversation, for example, a Gen Z can perhaps make more impact than somebody who's at a partner level as well. So I think leadership, in my view, is not really about a title. It's about the impact that you're making. And to be honest, if somebody praises me for the work that I'm doing or the impact that I'm creating, that is far, far, far more fulfilling for me than having a partnership or any leadership title.
So that's so beautiful, and what you said is that leadership is about impact and not about title. So that's one of the premise for Rescript consultancy also. So Himanshu, one of our focus is we want to create leaders who can lead without titles, and leadership is not about position, it's about the value you bring to the table and the impact you can create on the world. So that's our source of inspiration as well in terms of building this company and how we envisage the leaders to come. And what you said rightly about the Gen Z professionals also, because they are not impressed by title.
They're not.
They don't care. They don't care.
Absolutely,
Like basically, if you are a partner, if you are a director, that doesn't hold them that they will listen to you. So you really have to make that impact and maybe touch their heart to really make that connection so that they start actually respecting you or listening to you.
Absolutely. I think, and that's what I talk about. If people are respecting you for the work that you're doing, that's genuine appreciation, right? And on somebody who's following you just for the title of it, I don't think so. That's something that you enjoy beyond a point. So definitely the focus has to be an impact and not on the title. And I think leadership, as you mentioned, also, I think it resonates very, very well with me also.
So you're making the dual impact with the title as well as the.
It's a double whammy.
Yeah. So other leaders can also really look forward to that.
Sure.
No, that's very exciting. And now also, have you heard about the David Solomon, the DJ Solomon?
I'm not sure.
So he's the CEO of Goldman Sachs,
Okay.
and he also is a DJ, and he has produced his music works as well.
Okay.
And so a lot of times we also get stuck in what we do as a person and rather than who we actually are. So how does that identity has evolved for you when you have transitioned your career from maybe starting from consultant, assistant manager to a partner? So how your identity has shifted over a period of time?
So I think, and I think the point that you are asking is whether, and the quote that Rumi's quote that you initially mentioned, I think does work become identity for me in a way? Ever since I've started on this consulting journey, for me the answer is emphatic no. I think what you do is perhaps not what you are, right? So I've always tried to ensure that work is one aspect of my life. Even when I was a consultant, work was one aspect of my life. I always ensured that I'm taking time out for my friends and family, and I'm taking time out for my interests, which includes music. And I think I've been able to do fairly successful. I've been very successful in being able to ensure that. So I think work is only part of my personality. Is something, and for all of us, I think work is only a part of our personality. There's a lot more to who we are.
So no, that's beautiful. Now moving on, what does that who we are or that identity means to you at a larger level? Like or what kind of identity do you find yourself related to?
So I feel that obviously at a very larger level, I generally want to be identified as somebody who's good, who's a good human, right? And then obviously if I break it down, whether at work, a good human would have multiple facets to it. Am I being Am I a high performer, right? Is
Yeah.
also a part of, am I leveraging the gifts that I have, whether it's intelligence, whether it's some of the other aspects that I've been gifted with. So I think that's one aspect of it. But the other aspect is, it is also, for example, am I learning, and am I curious enough, and I'm, taking time out for learning new things. Is there a sense of adventure, for example, right? So those are aspects that I definitely want to relate to, and that's what I want to be, have other people talk about me, not only about him being a high performer, etc., but also a good human being who's generous, who's curious, who's adventure loving. So that's the kind of identity that I would want people to have about me.
No, so that's really interesting that you want to be adventurous, curious, and also a good human being. That's and we really appreciate the values which you carry, and we really want to support that. So Himanshu, what is the best adventure you've done?
Best adventure?
Like, what has been your best adventure so far? Like, which has stayed in your memory for long?
No, I think I the way I look at adventure is by basically judging when is the last time I did something for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's every year I maintain a journal where I there's a tag which says first time. So those are activities that I track in terms of something that I did for the first time, and that's something that brings the adventure out for me. Whether it's small things like learning swimming, it's not something that I did it as a kid, but for example just getting into the pool for the first time, completing that first lap of 30 meters is something that I cherish and put it in my journal.
So Himanshu, you have had a very successful career in consulting, but what has really helped you to succeed at the workplace?
Okay, so I think if I have to just pinpoint on one aspect that has helped me being successful in career, is my ability to show up every single day. And I think perseverance is something that I would give most credit to as far as my career is concerned, and that's something that I learned from music. In fact, when I was when I started picking up the guitar and I started learning it, there was a point in time where I literally felt like giving up because I was not progressing. I don't know if for folks who play the guitar or gone through the journey would understand that there's a point in time when you learn the guitar and you're at a stage where you have to play now the F chord. Now the F chord is a bar chord which is extremely difficult to play for beginner guitarists, right? So I was at that stage, and I literally felt like breaking my guitar into two pieces and throwing it away. It was that bad because it was very, very difficult.
When was it?
This was like 20 years back, 20
20
years.
So
years
like during your college you started?
Yes.
Okay.
So I literally felt like kind of giving it up. But that's when, I think, just showing up every single day, picking up the guitar, even if my fingers were paining, even if it was not coming through, it was not sounding right, I just ensured that I continued.
Yeah.
And I think, if I have to give a statistics, I think almost 80 to 90% of the beginner guitarists give up guitar within 1 year. And I think a major point where they give up the guitar is that F chord syndrome is how I would like to call it. But once you are past that, it opens up extremely new possibilities for you. And I think you make that bond with your guitar, which perhaps, would not have been there before that. So I think that particular thing of just showing up every single day, even if things were not going well or not going the way I wanted them to be, I think is one of the biggest learning I had from that episode. And that's what I've carried to my workplace as well. In fact, even today at my workplace, I would have losses or bad news coming in every single day.
I can imagine.
But then the whole idea is to just show up and face the heat, face the music, and that's when success comes to you. Because if you quit, then obviously it's not going to happen. But the whole idea is to persevere, show up every single day, and success would land at your doorsteps.
So that's what something the champion mindset is all about, and you're champion, one of the champions. So Himanshu, I wanted to understand what kept you going. Like, obviously, you said like when you were learning guitar every day, things were not going right, but there was something in you. What was that kept you going during those moments?
So I think it was passion.
Passion. So basically, when we have a stronger motivation, when our heart wants to do something, then it automatically gives more reason and perseverance to make it happen.
Absolutely. I think passion definitely keeps you going, but there's still a point,
Yeah.
and I would say, you need certain amount of willpower.
Yeah.
So passion along with willpower is something that is important. So alone passion is also not going to do it for you.
Obviously.
But you need to overcome certain amount of escape velocity within yourself and ensure that you kind of get up and show up every single day.
So what was that willpower, escape velocity? Was it discipline? What was that like, or the upbringing you had? So where was that discipline or willpower coming from?
So I would say that and as I mentioned, there were so many number of times I literally threw up my guitar and said, I'm not going to kind of do it. It's not happening. But somewhere I think, there was this motivation to play, how some of the other folks are doing, how my friends were playing it. And I said, if they can do it, I can do it as well.
Okay.
So that really helped, having some sort of, a mentor, if I may say, or something to look up to. Something to look up to, whether it was at that time Jimi Hendrix for me. I said, if Jimi Hendrix can play so fast, I can do it as well at some point in time. And therefore, that kept me going.
No, that's great. And so for our audience, what Himanshu is saying is that A, it's passion, and secondly, having someone to really look up for inspiration, whatever we want to achieve, is something really helps us to go through those times when things are not going our way. So great insight. But Himanshu, how has it reflected at your workplace? Like I'm sure a lot of things go wrong or hit you hard, and journey to become partner is not easy also.
True.
There are so many setbacks. Nobody becomes partner so easily. You have to go through a lot of grill before you achieve that position. So can you share some of the challenges or setbacks you received during your growth towards partnership, and how did you manage that?
So I think one of the aspects that is important to negate is self-doubt.
Okay.
In fact, at one point in time in one of the organization, one of my bosses said that you're not cut for this. And that was quite a setback, right? And in somebody who's always been your biggest mentor coming up and saying to you that perhaps you're not cut for this. You don't have the qualities, for example, some of the other leaders have. And somewhere deep down, it hurt me. To be honest, it was very, very painful for me to hear something like that from my own boss. But then I think I was absolutely, confident of my abilities. So, and I think, to quote, you have to be yourself, everybody else is taken. So I think my focus was not to become or have the traits some of the other leaders in that organizations were having, but to play on my own strengths. Each individual is unique, and I think if you're playing to your own strengths, I think you'll make it big, is how I would. So I'm just saying, in a way, that particular comment by my boss also fueled me and challenged me, and I took it as a challenge that it's not true. So and I can fairly say that it's not been true.
No, that's, and I'm glad you made it untrue. But what was it like when that moment happened? Like, were you depressed, or for 1 or 2 days you felt like you doubted yourself? Like you doubted yourself that, am I on the right track? Should I explore something? Or you, after that, you kind of overcame that situation and you got into your own mode?
Absolutely. No, I think it was very painful. I was deeply hurt. And, I think at that point in time, journaling also helped me quite a bit to be able to pour down the, pain on a piece of paper, and then also look at avenues to overcome that particular incident is something that, helped. Just getting it out of the system is how I would put it, So that really helped.
So that was release for you.
Yes.
So Himanshu, you said everyone definitely should play on their strengths for becoming successful in whatever they're doing. But according to you, what are 2 or 3 skills for somebody to become a successful partner in consulting. So what are some of the top 2-3 skills if somebody wants to become a successful partner in consulting?
So I think, I'll maybe take a step back and basically say, talk about what success itself means. I think, in the society that we live in, society typically is associated with titles, it's associated with some certain amount of financials, money, etc. But is that really success is the question, right? And I could, come back to Robin Sharma's, 8 forms of wealth. So there's not only the finances or title is not the only type of success or wealth that you're looking at. And I think there have been multiple I can quote multiple examples. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala for example. He was one of the wealthiest person in the country. He was an investment banker, etc. And to quote him himself, he said his worst investment was his health. So despite having tons of money in the bank account, he was not doing well on health perspective. So is that really success? And therefore what I'm saying is you need to understand and change the paradigm of success itself.
True. And I think it's changing a lot. Like with the younger generation coming in, they are not very unidirectional in terms of pursuing success.
I'm not sure. Maybe you are more connected to Gen Zs than I am, but I'm not sure. And therefore, if I can just... so what basically I was saying was, you have to be, you have to understand what those metrics are. So those 8 forms of wealth, it's not only your finances, it's not only the title that you're having, but also your health, but also your family, but also a sense of adventure. So all of those are some things that, would come in. So that is one part of the story. And I believe any role you play, and I'm saying it's not consulting, any industry, I think being successful to me would mean all of these things. So title, etc. is one part of the story, but are you also taking care of your health? Are you, taking time out for your family and friends? They are also a form of wealth, and they are also a metric of success as far as I am concerned. So if I can just quote you a small couple of lines, and I think that would make it more relevant is, there's a couplet saying that ख्वाहिशों के बोझ में बशीर तू क्या क्या कर रहा है, ख्वाहिशों के बोझ में बशीर तू क्या क्या कर रहा है, इतना तो जीना भी नहीं है जितना तू मर रहा है. So what I'm trying to say is, you have to just ensure that you're grounded and that success metric that I talked about. So that is one part of the story. The other part, from a success perspective, I would also say is getting to the top, etc., is one part of the equation, but staying there is another. So there might have been certain amount of rigor, certain amount of hard work you might have put to reach there, but to stay there is another part of the story.
That's the bigger challenge.
That's a bigger challenge. So I think that's again something what one must really think about. Yes.
So, but has your perspective of success evolved? Because success sometimes can narrow our focus. Because when somebody is aspiring to become a partner, then and since I've been also part of that consulting industry, then you become very, very, 10, 12 years I have to reach and become the partner, and that's the ultimate matrix to be successful in consulting. Eventually everyone who wants to stay in consulting has the aspiration to become the partner, and that's the glamour of it also. So, but and it narrows the focus. But has your perspective shifted now, having achieved and being there at the top of the mountain for 6-7 years now?
So I'll slightly differ from what you just said. I think, as far as I am concerned, I really was kicked by the kind of work that I'm doing, to be honest, right? And in fact, my post-MBA, my salary, I joined, a consulting firm at a salary which was lower than what I was getting pre-MBA. What I'm basically trying to say is, because I wanted to do a particular kind of work. I think that was the kick, that was the real glamour that I saw, not really, reaching the top at any point in time. So I was not chasing the mountain top, to be honest. It came along the way, and I did not have a benchmark to say that I have to reach there in 10 years, 15 years, etc. I was basically focused on my work and the impact that I was creating, and I was also, because I'm working in the government space, I thought there was certain amount of monetary benefit. There is obviously monetary benefit of when you're working, but there is also certain amount of benefit in the sense that you're also making change, contributing to making changes and bringing changes in the society at large. So that's again, I think, was something that I was fairly inspired to do. So I would say that there was no benchmark per se. I've always kind of had that beginner mindset. It's not that I've started having that beginner's mindset when I've reached a particular level, but that's how I've always functioned.
And do you still get that kick out of this?
Absolutely, absolutely. The day I'm not getting that kick is the day perhaps I shouldn't be there in the organization.
No, that's really exciting, and yeah, definitely. And consulting, one good thing even I have thoroughly enjoyed, and I carry a lot of my learnings from consulting career as well, is it's intellectually stimulating. There are very few careers which are intellectually stimulating. You're learning everything new, because every time there might be a new client problem, new client situation, new project. So you're always learning to stay abreast of what is happening around, and that's something what a lot of people enjoy about consulting and miss about consulting also when they leave consulting.
No, absolutely. I think, as far as, and I think if I can just quote Seth Godin here, basically he says that, at a particular level when people reach, I think they will have all the hard skills, soft skills, etc. What's going to differentiate them are two qualities.
Yeah.
One is, are they curious enough?
Yeah.
And second, are they generous enough?
Oh.
So I think, today, back then, for example, when I was doing my, IIT preparations, etc., I used to love books, etc., but they were not as readily available, right? And I had to ask my dad to kind of get it from, Daryaganj or wherever he used to kind of source them from. Today, everything in the world that you can learn is available on your mobile phone. And yet what you see people doing on airports, etc., is watching reels. Spending or kind of entertaining themselves to death. When at the, today we are at a point in time when you can absolutely learn anything you want at any point in time. So that's something that I feel that a lot of leaders also miss, is kind of continuously upgrading themselves, learning new stuff, etc. So that's one part of it, and the second is being generous. I think everybody thinks about what's in it for you.
Yeah.
What's in it for me, right? But what I'm saying is, do you also sometimes change the paradigm and say that what's in it for you? And being generous, I think, and as Seth, says, it's one of the most selfish things one can do. I think these two abilities are something that, would differentiate.
No, I totally relate with you and Himanshu. We are living in a society which is totally about me culture. True. So there, even if you just shift the focus, you're going to gain much more attention and traction, and even the followership much more, because otherwise everyone is always there, what is in it for me. So, but I wanted to, since you have talked about the learner's mindset a lot during the conversation, so I wanted to understand, so suppose if you want to pick up a new area to learn, what would be your go-to strategy for decoding that?
So I think, for example, if I can take example from my music, right? And I've been very, very passionate to compose, to write songs, etc. And I took up online courses from Berkeley College of Music in the US. And this was while I was kind of doing my work, etc. I used to kind of spend time over the weekends. I used to, because these are online courses, and you can kind of, when utilize, for example, when I was flying on an airplane, I used to kind of complete my courses then. In fact, in today's generation, kind of, physical kind of a classroom is not really required. So as part of the courses, for example, I was doing online. So as part of that course, you had to join online classes at predetermined periods of time, wherein people from across the globe were joining that call and in the same class. So I think so, and I kind of over a period of 3 years, I completed completed my songwriting certification, I also went to Boston to kind of complete a physical on-campus course as well.
Okay.
So I think my strategy is, online definitely
courses.
at any point in time. And that also, because I don't think people say they don't have time. I think, if you're productive, I think 5 to 6 hours of productive work every single day are enough. Rest people are just busy. So I think you have to just find time, find what you are inspired about, find what you want to learn. I think the opportunities are immense.
Great. And so you advocate for a 40-hour work week?
Not really.
Lesser
than that.
Lesser than that.
No, because I'm just saying, if you're productive,
Yeah,
if you are away from distractions,
Yeah.
I think 4 to 5 hours of
Robin Sharma
focused
says
work.
5 hours of deep work.
Absolutely, I'm just saying, and you must try to realize how effective it is.
Yeah.
If you have to be away from your distractions, is all I would say.
And importantly, like Himanshu, what I have also realized being part of my entrepreneurial journey, where I have to play multiple hats.
True.
So there, as a leader and for senior leaders also, it's important to identify what is their needle moving thing, which they need to really focus on, which will give them dividends. Because there are a lot of things at your level, your team can do a lot of stuff. What is 1 or 2 areas where you need to invest a lot of your personal time and energy to make it happen for the organization or for your role?
So I think at my level, one is decision making. I think that's one of the most important, because people look up to you for making decisions. And the best part about being in consulting or the kind of work that we are doing is there are no precedents. It's not that I can look up to how this particular thing was being taken care of previously. So I think, decision making is is extremely important, and, and I take my chances as well in some of the decisions.
So deal
that I
with
make.
uncertainty. Basically, you have to take a lot of decisions with an uncertain view, which you can only look back in hindsight, like whether it went wrong or right, whatever.
Absolutely. So the risk is something that's with me. That's not with that does not sit with the team.
Yeah.
The team does not. The team asks me for a decision. I take risk of that decision, and I kind of take accountability of it. So that's something my team looks at me for, right? So I think.
So you make fast decisions. You make decisions quickly as a leader.
I do. In fact, that's one of the traits that I would say that I would not keep decisions hanging or pending. So I would definitely take a decision one way or the other.
Yeah.
Obviously, kind of reviewing various aspects of the situation, but that's something that I genuinely want to do.
So like
And that's
within
what
a
the team
day,
expects
within a
as well.
day, or like, so what's the expectation if something comes for you, or like within an hour, or you will
If
dispose
it's a
it?
simple, approval or a decision that needs to be made immediately. If I need certain more amount of data points to decide which way to go, then I'll research that and take that time, find the data points, and then make that decision. But the whole idea is to turn it around quickly for my team, because they can't be kept waiting.
Sure. No, and they also appreciate, because sometimes moving faster is better than making a wrong decision early, is also better than course correcting and making it right over a period of time.
Progress over perfection is something that I abide by.
Great. So Himanshu, we had a very engaging conversation today and a lot of insights for our audience. So I'm really appreciative of the fact. And considering your varied interest in music, we would want to also explore other sides and have a very quick rapid fire.
Sure.
So what is one skill you think every consultant should build on early, but they do not?
I think communication skills.
Communication skills.
Yes. Being able to structure the thought. Because I think in consulting, one of the major issues is problem solving.
Yeah.
And the major part of that problem solving is that the problem itself is not clear. So I think cutting through that complexity by asking the right questions, structuring your thoughts, I think is very, very critical.
Great. And what has been your favorite vacation spot?
It has to be Phuket. Any beach place is something that I really enjoy.
So Phuket has been, and you went there recently, I suppose.
I went there recently. I've been there multiple times. I've been to Miami. I've been to Mauritius. I've been to Goa multiple times. So I love beachside vacations.
And this is an easy one. If you were not a partner, what would you be?
definitely be in the music profession, either kind of full-fledged session musician, or owning up some sort of a music academy.
So maybe we could see that future. Maybe that could be a
knows?
second
Who knows?
or
Yes.
career after your retirement, or like
Absolutely.
teaching
Why-
music somewhere at the beach.
Absolutely, yes. That'll be a dream come true.
I'm sure it will come true. Like when you set the goal, you achieve it.
Sure.
So you also said that you follow the twin cycles of recovery. What is your favorite reset mechanism?
My favorite reset mechanism, one I think is playing, the guitar and kind of jamming, recording, being creative is how I would put it. So that is one, and then obviously some sort of a vacation.
And last question is, what did not expect from consulting, but you ended up learning it here? Like initially when you started, you thought that this is not something you would want to do, but you eventually, as part of this profession, you ended up doing that.
So I think the biggest thing that I learned is, if you are a trusted consultant of a client, the client would expect everything out of you. So you cannot be just you can't say that I'm only a let's say particular sector domain specialist, or you are only a technology specialist, etc. But if you win the trust of a client, he or she will expect every single problem to be solved by you. And I think that's something that then obviously you kind of collaborate with others to solve it for the client. But that's something that I've learned the hard way, that I cannot pass the buck because I have that relationship. The client trusts me, so the onus is on me to fix the problem, whatever that might be.
Yeah, and since we have been in the same space, there it's more about owning the relationship rather than anything. Like basically, if as you said, client trusts you, that means like you have to own that relationship. Whatever needs to manage that relationship needs to happen by you. Now, the last request, which is I think coming from our audience also, I'm speaking on behalf of them. We would want to see some of your performance today.
Sure.
So maybe your composition or whatever is your best composition which you may want to share for the audience as a message to going to the young professionals that you can pursue your passion along with a high stress career or whatever goals you achieve in life.
Sure. We'll have that performance, yeah.
शाम सवेरे तेरी यादें आती हैं, आके दिल को मेरे यूं तड़पाती हैं। ओ सनम मोहब्बत की कसम, आँखों में बसी हो पर दूर हो कहीं, दिल के करीब हो ये मुझको है यकीन। ओ सनम तेरी यादों की कसम,
Wow, what a performance, Himanshu. That is the highlight of our podcast, and what an exciting performance. So, thank you for joining this podcast, and now our audience also knows that what a high performance, high passion, and high intensity leader looks like. And thank you so much for joining today.